What do you think are some of the biggest lessons that people can learn from your life?
I know I keep saying this, but my biggest lesson has been choice. We get to choose not just what we're doing, but we also get to choose how we're being.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is I did all the things. I scrambled and I hustled and I worked really hard and I did all of the things. And I forgot about joy for a while because I was so busy doing all the things, right? And you get the busy face on and the busy movements and you just are getting through so much. And we all have this opportunity to decide how we want to be.
Yeah.
And the example that I give, because for me, being was like a really sort of woo-woo foreign concept, is a great example is if you and I both walk into our kitchens in the morning, and let's say you love to cook and I don't, and we both open our refrigerators and we both see that all we have are eggs. You're going to say, I have eggs. Oh, so great. I can cook breakfast. I'm going to say, oh, all I have is eggs. Now I have to cook breakfast. And it's two different ways of being about the same situation.
Absolutely.
And so if you choose to go through life being burdened, being an apologizer, being a people pleaser, and choosing your work from that angle, instead of choosing your work and your life through the angle that you just talked about, which is I love my work. I love the hustle. I get so excited about the things that I do. The being is at the core of all of it. And that's where coaching, I think, is really important because you can't see for yourself who and how you're being.
Absolutely.
And it's really hard to see who you could be without somebody else's perspective and without being asked the right questions and without reflecting in new ways and noticing your life in new ways. And then from there, it comes down to choice. Mm-hmm. We have choices, even when our lives are really hard, even when we have a lot of responsibilities, even when we have commitments that we've made that we're not willing to break. We can choose 15 minutes in the morning to read. We can choose 5 minutes in the middle of the day to just breathe. Mm-hmm. Taking 5 minutes to breathe is absolutely life-changing.
Yeah.
And we always have choices. And we can make powerful choices. We can make not powerful choices. And we can make no choice, which is actually a choice not to make a choice. Right? So it's all choice-based. And it's all opportunity.
Yep. I want to ask you a question. I early on towards the beginning of the podcast, you had mentioned, I apologize if I'm quoting this wrong, but you had mentioned something like, it's really difficult for me to have an objective point of view on my own life. You said something like that. Mm-hmm. For those that are listening right now live, and for those that will be listening on the replay, this platform attracts a lot of individuals, females, who are just now kind of like getting into personal development. They know nothing. Can you I meant to ask you it right away and I forgot, but can you kind of just explain what that means? Objective, subjective, your viewpoint on that?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I'll use me as an example because I know me best.
Thanks.
When I worked all of those hours and when I took on all those projects and raised my hand 100 times and said, I'll do it, I was being a certain way. And objectively speaking, if you looked at me from the outside, I worked more hours than other people. I took on more jobs than other people. Like, those are some facts, right? What I couldn't see were my own biases that were leading me to do that. And that's where the subjectivity comes into play, where I thought my body is broken, so I have to work harder than other people. That's an internal bias. That is subjective. Nobody told me your body doesn't work right, so you have to work harder than other people.
Yeah.
Nobody told me if you set boundaries, people will still respect you. Nobody told me people like you for just who you are, not because of the hours of output you bring in.
Yeah.
And because I had these internal biases of who and how I was, I am a person who works hard. I'm a person who works all the time. Work is my life. Work is what I know how to do. And it's what I know I'm good at. There is nothing else out there for me but work.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see any other way.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's really any such thing as objective when it comes to human beings and human behavior. And what I knew was that the people who love me and the people who care about me want something for me.
Yeah.
Right? They want me to work less, or they want me to date someone, or they want me to have more time in my life for activities. So they care too much to be any kind of objective.
Got it.
So where a coach or a mentor or a training program or a book can come in is that they can ask you the questions that you're not asking yourself, that you're not able to see for yourself.
Yeah.
And they can ask you what you know about yourself and what you don't know about yourself and what the possibilities are for your future. And coaches are not invested in what your decision is. If you decide you do want to work all the time, great. Let's make that powerful for you. If you decide you don't want to work all the time, great. Let's make some decisions that are going to empower you to do that. And so with a coach, you get that outsider view, which I call objectivity. Maybe it's still not, right? They're still caring, compassion. But you get that outsider view and you get those questions and the opportunity to sit with yourself and really figure out who and how you want to be and have the lens that you look at life through reflected back at you. Yeah. Oh, I hear you saying that it's this way. You're stating that as a truth. Is that a truth? Right. And just having those kinds of questions come at you. Yeah. Oh, where else does this? It seems you have a lot of rules around this area of your life. Where else do rules come up in your life?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Absolutely.